Hello and welcome to the Running Channel podcast, where Andy, Sarah and myself are just about still alive.
Oh my goodness, we've had an incredible weekend all together. We've had the whole of the last 72 hours together, more or less, which is a lot.
Yeah, and it's so much for producer Owen that he hasn't even been able to write a brief.
He just handed us a blank piece of paper.
If you think the intro is slightly less slick than normal, that's because we were presented with Sarah, blank space, Andy, blank space, and Rick, blank space.
Off sound, let's get into the podcast.
Buckle in, this is going to be interesting.
Loose, it's going to be loose.
Do you know what though? I had such a brilliant time. Well, I'm going to say I had my favourite time at a running event I think I've ever had the last few days.
That's amazing. You had such a good time that we've forgotten to tell everybody that's listening what we're actually going to talk about.
Oh yeah,
today.
sorry, yeah.
We're going to talk about answering the most Googled questions about running. Some fun ones and some sensible
big
ones.
range in here, which is going to be very exciting to go through.
And we might have picked up a few more and checked them out over the weekend as well.
Yes, we've got some very good, interesting anecdotes from the weekend as well.
Yeah, so we were at the National Running Show, huge running expo in Birmingham in the UK. And as always, the trains were an absolute nightmare. Or Rick claims the trains were a nightmare because everyone else was able to get there for 8 a.m.
Literally
on
everybody
Saturday,
else was there on time.
Apart
Everybody.
from you.
Including all the people queuing to get in.
I didn't miss anything this year.
Well, you missed the first half an hour of the show.
You missed the briefing.
Yeah,
but I didn't miss any stage time.
You missed helping us set up.
No.
You
missed all of the basic. You missed all of the admin and heavy lifting.
No, I didn't.
He's like, what's admin and heavy lifting? I wasn't supposed to do that.
I got home last night and Chantal's like, did you have a nice time? Did you bring me back any goodies? I just opened my bag and all I had, a pot of honey.
Oh, you did? That had been stashed under our little counter.
We won a pot of honey.
Well, no, we didn't.
Did we not?
No. So it's a 2-day show. And when the show closes on the Saturday night, basically all of the people on the stands go into the middle and there are drinks.
Yeah.
And every single year, the drinks are bought and sponsored by Duncan, who hasn't even paid for this, but I'm going to give him a free shout out.
You guys love Duncan. You made a beeline for him straight away.
Broadbent Insurance, the absolute legend that is Duncan. He gets up there and he says into the mic, "Hello, my name's Duncan. I paid for your drinks."
Nothing else.
And then he
doesn't plug his company.
No.
He didn't even ask for anything. He just goes, I'm the guy who paid for your drinks.
Did you take a picture of the honey? So they've branded honey. And on the side of it, it was like a whole little rhyme of like, I can't even remember what it was, but it was a lot of bee puns in there. Oh,
nice.
And it was so good. So good.
I also, on the way to the station last night, was stopped by someone who goes, are you Rick from the Running Channel? My wife really fancies Andy.
Well, that is not where I thought that sentence was going.
Honestly. And
wow, you've got one fan.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I'll take it.
And her name was Ali, and he put me on speakerphone, which made me feel a little bit nervous, naturally.
You don't like?
I can't stand speakerphone
in public. Yeah.
And she's like, do you know Andy? I'm like, yeah. She goes, tell him I think he's gorgeous.
Do I need to Ali, if you're listening.
I'm blushing now. I don't even know what to say.
I was said to her husband, I was like, nobody's ever said that to me before.
No
one's ever said that to Andy before.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. I'm sure one person has.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very lovely wife,
True.
I think. Yeah. Sometimes, maybe. Yeah. Don't know. Stuck
there
with me
you go,
now.
mate. So you had your fans this weekend.
Just the one.
Also, you are on Duncan from Man Broadbent's front page, and you've never even met him.
On his Instagram.
Instagram.
I've met him in previous years, but you guys are so obsessed with free booze that you're straight in
we
there.
We went and took a selfie with Duncan.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
I witnessed.
Do you know what he said? I'm not going to repeat what he said, but we went. So he gives out like a few prizes, like to start off the evening. We went over, and I think we said like, "Duncan, we didn't win a prize," and he was like, "Oh, your stand was."
He said, our stand was amazing. I know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. I know.
Also, we debuted, any viewers or listeners, we debuted new merch, which is now available on our store, on our website. So we got a new hoodie, new sweatshirt, a couple of new t-shirts. Any super fans of the podcast who love Sock Sock Shoe Shoe, there's actually a t-shirt for Sock Sock Shoe Shoe.
And
we got
you
lots
know
of
what,
on
Andy? I mean, we had the best salesman I think we've ever employed this weekend who shifted so much merch.
We had a wonderful wonderful gentleman who's also a member of the club and a fan of the running channel, who asked if he could come and help for the entire weekend.
His name's Paul. He's a friend of mine from outside of work as well. Do you know he's got a great nickname?
No, is this podcast safe?
His nickname's Triple.
Why?
Because he's got 3 nipples.
I'm Paul.
So good.
I'm so sorry. Paul,
That is
thank
his
you.
nickname.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
And someone shouted at him across the hall, "Why? Is that you, Triple?" And it was a mate from uni who hadn't seen for 20 years.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
good.
Oh, well,
Speaking of actually people shouting stuff across the hall,
Yeah.
did you get stuff shouted at you?
It's Gabby time.
Yes.
Got
Yes.
a lot of
Yes,
those.
we
Shout
did.
out to our lovely club members.
We had one lady who was actually a little bit annoyed with herself. She had apparently meant to bring a labelled bottle of wine where she was going to have stuck a label over the bottle's actual, brand and grape type and handwritten sommelier. For producer Owen, who mistook the lovely sommelier who helps you with your wine in a restaurant for the actual name of a fancy wine, and already thought he'd already
good.
ordered.
Oh,
I had some great chats. Every
Yeah.
year I make like a little notes page with when people come up and talk to me. 2 things. One, shout out to Jethro, who's currently preparing for a marathon. Now, we've talked a lot about how Rick is doing a 14-week plan.
Yeah, you just
Little
start
bit
off week
contentious.
3.
Guess how many weeks Jethro's doing?
Too many?
20.
No, the perfect amount. 30.
30.
30.
30.
30.
That's
3/5 of the year he
Over
will start
double.
preparing for
Do
the
you know
marathon.
what Jethro's actually doing? He's not doing a training plan. He just needs to remove the extra word. He's just training.
Yeah.
He just runs.
Just runs.
That's it. He's Forrest Gumping it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would like to do a podcast episode on this, but I'm just going to plant the seed. Someone came up to me and was talking to me about stiffness.
Yes.
And I think we should do a podcast episode on this because apparently there's a thing called a hippoiastas pathway. Have you heard of this?
No, I have not.
And apparently it's something to do with the brain and stiffness, and the fact that stiffness is actually a kind of psychological thing.
Oh, right.
So I'm going to go away, but if anyone else
This
is
does not
familiar
sound
with
fully researched. I'm not going to lie.
hippoiastas pathway, then email in podcast@therunningchannel.com and I will bring more facts.
Yeah, and we are going to do a video about stiffness in general, because leg stiffness is, whilst that might sound like it's a negative thing, we're not talking about stiffness in terms of being inflexible. It's more your ability to absorb and generate force and be reactive off the ground. So if you have better leg stiffness, you have better running economy, so you'll run faster with less oxygen cost.
I'm just not sure I could do a whole podcast on stiffness with a straight face, but you know what? We can give it a go.
We can try.
We can try.
Something that I definitely couldn't keep a straight face during was, well, the 3 of us had a crack at the Travelator. If anyone's familiar with the TV show Gladiators, it looks like it's 45 degrees, but we were told it's about 23 degrees.
Right.
And it was going at 4 or 5 miles an hour. And that's quite fast and it's very bouncy. And then you've got it's a angled treadmill, massive angled treadmill. And you've got to get from the top to the bottom to the top.
Do you know what I found hard is that the guys, we've done this like a few years in a row now, so they've given us the top tip of how to get onto it, which is like very fast feet to start off with.
You were so nervous.
I really
You had
couldn't.
about 4 attempts just to get on it.
Yeah, I really couldn't start.
got in your own head.
But then I got onto it, and then what I couldn't work out is that, so you're running at an angle, and then in order to step off, you're stepping off onto something that's flat. I think it would have found it easier if it was more at an angle, because I just couldn't.
Yeah, you got to the top. Sarah's doing a
couldn't
weird
quite
action with the hands.
Couldn't quite get my foot on the top.
Yeah, so then the first time you was aborted, you ended up falling and going back down again.
I did abort, not quite as catastrophically as you aborted, Rick.
Full face plant, quite close to the top.
It looked like I'd had a really bad reaction to nuts.
Because your face hit the belt of the treadmill.
Red in the
And
face.
bounced quite dramatically.
It was. Has that gone out yet? Is that gone out yet? That
No,
video?
stay tuned for that,
Stand
because that
by.
will
See
be
the video
absolutely
on social.
epic.
Yeah.
Well, it might be out by now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something that will be out by now is the latest club episode of the Running Channel podcast, which is all about never skipping strength and conditioning.
Yes, one of my favourite moments from the weekend actually was Rick, clearly after doing that episode, claimed to be a strength and conditioning god and declared in front of hundreds of people
on
that had come
stage
to one of our talks that there was a golden rule of strength and conditioning.
Yes, there was.
Would you like to repeat
Well, I
that to
think
our thousands of podcast
What was
listeners?
brilliantly in front of a live audience is he said that, both you and I did a visible double take.
As did Anna, an
From the
actual
side, actual
S&C
PT, yeah.
coach. Yeah.
And then you proceeded to get partway through
grin
the
on
golden
his
rule
face.
and then forget all the stuff you were going to say.
Yeah, you really
You know what,
committed and said, the golden rule
I
of
think
strength and conditioning is actually.
And then I just started hopping on one leg.
Yeah, that was it.
So what was it?
It was single leg presses.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's
it is.
your
And
well,
have the
according to
aim
you.
of lifting your own body weight by doing them.
being able to press your own body weight.
So
Yeah.
I think
On a
all of
single
that
leg.
chat about strength and conditioning really spurred me on to go to the gym on Sunday morning. And I'm literally sitting here in absolute agony because I did single leg movements for the first time and I don't think I'm quite ready.
When did you do that?
Sunday morning, I was in the gym at 7 a.m.
At the hotel.
Oh, that's keen.
So you were in the gym at 7 a.m.
You,
I was
you
out on
ran
a-
10 miles like an absolute psychopath.
Yeah, I did run 10 miles at 7 a.m. What were you doing at 7 a.m., Rick, on Sunday morning?
I
He was at
had a
breakfast.
nice long shower.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
lovely.
a bit of moisturising. And then I was a bit of stretching before doing the travel later.
Because I went to
Nice.
travel later, and then, in fairness to you, you
VO2
then did a
max.
full VO2 max test
Oh,
on our stand on the treadmill.
Sorry, let's recap that because I never, honestly, never seen you work that hard.
Are you serious?
No. And do you know why I think you work so hard?
Why?
Because we were absolutely ripping into you guys.
And I can't
Sarah and I
speak,
were on
so-
the mics, and you were fully masked
Yeah,
up, and you
so-
had no right of reply. It was
Yeah, so to
brilliant.
describe what a full VO2 max test involves, you've got a mask over your face, which covers both your nose and your mouth. It's not supposed to restrict your breathing, but it's just a very unusual
It
feeling.
does feel
It's
like it
just
restricts your breathing.
Feels like it does.
Yeah, it's quite claustrophobic.
And then you're hooked up to monitors on your foot, on your thigh, and then you've also got a heart rate monitor around your chest. You've got three monitors. And it gives you a very accurate read on your VO2 max.
Yeah, because you get a guide from your watch. We've done a test, Sarah and I, in the lab a few years ago, and it did back up the kind of the claims. Like, well, we were all wearing Garmin watches, and they're within sort of 5%. But if you want to know for sure to the milliliter, then you do a lab test.
And I was just dripping in sweat because you're in the conference hall and it's hot anyway, and I'm dripping, and you two are just hammering me on the mic.
Yeah, it was great.
And I can't speak back.
No.
'Cause I can't. And it's going up incrementally in
Every
kind of
30 seconds you're
every
going up,
30
yeah.
seconds until we got to, I think I was running 340 per kilometre.
Yeah, you were
in the
like
end.
Which is
around about
actually-
under 19 minutes for 5K.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is actually ridiculous.
And it was just, I was just dripping wet. And it was brilliant, actually. And
Yeah.
if anyone does get the opportunity to do it, I'd recommend it.
He's just so smug because what was your VO2 max?
51.
Amazing.
What's my VO2 max?
Is it
51.
Is it?
Oh, very similar.
Although that's off my watch. So maybe if I go do an actual
Yeah,
test, I
might
can
be
be
a bit lower,
5%.
might be a bit lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I had something that I was going to ask you both, but now I can't. Oh, it was because the Rick's performance on stage. Maybe we'll wrap up after this and dive into the topic. But the three of us got up on stage and we were recreating the podcast in real life, which was fun. But the quite quickly became an invisible dividing line.
Oh, us two and you.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
stage. So there was the screen in the middle of us, and there was a little sort of coffee table on the stage, which sort of gave a bit of a dividing line.
I
But
just
you
think-
two very clearly were like, we're standing over here, and
Yeah.
you're over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were the science corner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we would have a bit of a back and forth, and then we would just cross to you for the science, which actually is how we're configured
Yeah,
here.
it kind of worked quite well. I really
I think it
enjoyed
worked.
the chats.
I loved it.
I mean, doubling up, doing, buy one, get one free, doing one at 12 o'clock, another one at 2.
we were supposed to do one on Saturday, one on Sunday. Bit of a
Yeah,
mix
something
up.
had happened there. There's a
Yeah,
mix
yeah.
up behind
All
the
fun and
scenes.
games.
But I actually really enjoyed it, and both were really well attended. We were worried everyone after the first one would be like, and I'm done.
I know,
no more podcasts
and
for me.
And the second one, I think we definitely had loosened up. So it was there was
Yeah.
a lot more banter in the second one.
And there was some lovely questions, but were they some of the most Googled questions by runners?
Very nice. Let's get into it. Should we start with one that I think Andy will relate to?
Yeah.
What happens if I get cramp during a run?
And you are
Happens
screwed, and it will ruin everything.
Really?
No, I don't know, but that's how I felt about it the last few times.
Cramp's a mystery, though, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we made a video on this about a year ago, and maybe a bit longer, and there's no real science about why it happens, because it happens in different people for different reasons.
Because for some people, you can almost like shock it out of yourself, can't you? Because there's loads of like chili and spicy stuff.
Like Carlos Alcaraz last week in the Australian Open was drinking pickle juice. A lot of athletes drink pickle juice. I think that works more effectively for team sports players because also for sports where you're playing for a long time, but you get breaks.
Yeah.
So like a footballer could, I guess, run to the side of the pitch and grab a drinks bottle in it and like swill their mouth out. A cricketer could do the same. A tennis player gets breaks in between matches, in between games.
Yeah.
But like you can't have a
You're
little...
trying to justify that marathon running is harder than all of these things.
Well, I'm saying it's not very practical to carry pickle juice with you on a marathon. And you can't just like hope that someone's going to hand it to you exactly at the point at which you get.
I mean, you definitely can't rely on Rick to do that.
Hydration though, because there is a general rule that actually cramp is brought on by a lack of
There's a rule, but I wonder whether that's a myth. That's one of those things that like there seem to be different mechanisms that could cause cramp.
Because you were really hydrated for your last marathon.
Well, I think I was, yeah. And I think for me personally, it was conditioning based cramp. I muscular, the muscles were just completely overloaded from not having the level of conditioning I required. So again, in that marathon phase, I got to 2.5 hours in, and my longest run that I'd been running for 2 hours 5 minutes, 2 hours 10 minutes. Yeah. So my muscles just hadn't been working for that amount of time and just couldn't keep functioning properly.
So what you're saying is you do need to do an ultra marathon before your next marathon.
So then the marathon's short.
Yeah, and then you're conditioned.
Well, probably would help me. And I think
what about comrades? I feel like you'd really enjoy that.
I would not. Isn't that 87 kilometers or something?
Yeah. Isn't it the oldest?
And every year it alternates, and it's either on an up year or a down year. But I think it's still very undulating.
I think I'd rather
90 kilometers.
If I did have to,
it's all on the road.
I think I'd rather do the up year.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
I think people have said that.
Let's find out what year it is this
net
year.
Downhill is like.
You might have just signed yourself up.
No. No.
I feel like it might be an up year.
The question was like, what
year.
happens if I get cramp? Then I guess the advice is, I don't really know because I've done both. I've had to stop when it's really grabbed. I've had to stop and stretch it out. And then when I have done that, I sort of wished I'd done it a little bit earlier instead of sort of gradually slowing down and then getting to that point. So maybe at the earliest onset of it, I probably should have stopped for the 20 seconds and done that stretching. And then when it got into the last couple of kilometers of the marathon, I could feel the cramp coming and I was like, I can't stop. I don't want to stop.
That's so annoying.
And I just kept going through it. But obviously the risk of running through cramp is a muscle tear. And you can actually, I think sometimes a cramp and a muscle tear can feel quite similar. So well,
14th of June, comrades, up here. We'll see you there.
Slow down. And
No, Sarah, no. I'm trying to say yes to Rick, slow down. Not yes to Sarah, who's talking at the same time.
14th of June, that's like 6 days before your birthday.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
So I suppose, to sum up the answer to that question, you can prepare better by strengthening those specific muscles where you've had cramp in the past.
Yeah, and I think you've got to condition them to fatigue, and that's going to be longer runs, more time on your feet. Also, if you're prone to particular muscles fatiguing, then calf raises to fatigue, hamstring curls to fatigue, that sort of thing.
But if it does happen, best advice is probably to slow down, stop, stretch it out, and then carry on.
Yeah, and I'm not saying hydration is not important, but loads of runners get so obsessed with hydration, you can risk overhydrating.
Hyponatremia.
Nice, hyponatremia, yeah.
These questions are not in any specific order. Is it safe to run a marathon while on my period?
Yes. However, there's loads of different things to consider. And I feel like one is the actual physiological things that are happening, and the other is the kind of extra admin and preparation in order to be able to do it.
Yeah, a lot of races are providing better facilities and kind of sanitary products and stuff either on course or at least at the beginning and the end of the race.
Yeah. And also I feel like there's so much more information out there now on the female body and the menstrual cycle and like how to train through your cycle. And definitely when I started running, there wasn't a lot of information out there about how it will feel different when you're training all throughout your cycle and kind of around the different weeks of your cycle.
Yeah, and you might feel different types of exercises like strength and conditioning work versus say long, slow endurance stuff will feel different and might sort of be more, not necessarily beneficial, but it might be easier at certain times in the different hormone phases.
And you can also use it to make it your superpower.
Yeah, there are plenty of incredible stories from elite runners who, have no choice but to race on their period and have phenomenal performances on races and runs where they are on their period, but I think it's something to be aware of. And I feel like every time we get towards like London Marathon or like a big marathon season, there'll always be kind of 2, 3, 1 month out, loads of women posting like, oh God, I've just realised London Marathon's on like day 1 or day 2 of my period. It's annoying because it's an extra thing to have to think about. But I would say if you're, like with loads of things in running, if you're able to like practice running through it in training, then it can be your superpower on the day. Just it's an extra thing to have to faff about and worry about. And that's annoying. And boys don't have to experience that.
No, we don't. We're very lucky. And some people suffer much more than others with different symptoms at different times during the whole cycle.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we definitely say get medical advice if you're worried about anything, because there's loads of support out there now for this.
And also, I don't think this is said enough. If you do really suffer with your period, you don't have to. So like, please go and seek medical advice if it's something that's like really debilitating for you every month. Because I know so many people who it is really debilitating and they have to take time off work, they're in bed, and they have found things that help them. So
and,
go seek help.
Men out there, support the various women runners in your life, because they have to deal with more than you do. So I'm here for my daughter as she grows up. I'm going to try and, I mean, I'm sure there'll be points at which she's like, no, I really don't want to talk to you about this, but I'm going to, I mean, most of the time probably, but I'm going to try at least.
No.
How long does it take to train for a 5K, 10K or marathon? Well, I can give you the marathon answer, 14 weeks.
Can we just get a quick? So in last week's podcast, we did a whole big deep dive into how marathon training was an absolute breeze. Is today day 1 of week 3?
Yeah.
Okay, can we just get a quick week 2? How was it? Still on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is marathon training?
I mean, it's creeping up a little bit, but I'd still say probably 3, 4 out of 10. No biggie.
3 or 4 out of 10.
What was your long run last week?
It was 10K.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sarah, don't be dismissive of saying
No,
yes.
as in
honestly.
like, no, it's just
You're out of
I
order.
know, as in I know
That's a
you've
big number for me.
covered a half marathon before.
Yeah.
You've covered 10 milers before. You've covered 18K before. I just really I'm enjoying your approach to this. 10K is a long run.
Yeah.
But it's just, you can't say that marathon training is a 3 out of 10.
You know what? It's discipline though, Sarah. It's not just about discipline and getting out the door. It's discipline about sticking to your plan.
And not doing too
overdoing
much.
it.
Yeah,
Not
you're
doing
definitely
too
not
much.
overdoing it, yeah.
You know, getting that easy run in, 5K, then the progressive long run,
Fine.
followed by some 1K
Just
power loops.
personally, I'm looking forward to week 9.
I've got a deload week next week. Woohoo!
Deload. So I really shouldn't be dismissing. It's more, my attitude to this is that you were running like at a that's what Sarah's point. I think you were doing quite a lot of running.
You were already running at probably what, like week 5 or 6 is.
Yeah.
And rather than going like, oh great, okay, I'm going to
can build
build
from
on
there,
this.
yeah.
Instead, you tapered right down.
Had 2 weeks off and then started again completely.
I'm following the plan, and deload week is party week. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Does your deload week perfectly match up with half term as well?
It does, yeah.
Is that why you did a
Oh, that's
14-week plan?
Yeah, he did. No, that's pure coincidence.
Nothing in your life is
There's no
pure
proper answer
coincidence.
to how long it takes to train for 5K, 10K marathon. It's entirely based on what you want to achieve in those races and what your level of experience is already. So how often, many times a week you're running, how long you've been running for. So I don't think we can answer that.
I think as the distance gets longer, probably the longer you want to give yourself. Yeah. But equally, it depends what I think the biggest thing to start with is like, why are you training, or what is the end goal?
Yeah.
Are you training to complete the distance? Are you training to PB the distance? Or are you training for a certain time? What's the elevation of the distance as well? Because I would argue that training for a flat marathon versus training for a marathon with lots of elevation might look slightly different.
Yeah.
Also depends how many times a week you want to run. But I would say how long it takes is going to be anywhere between 6 to 50 weeks, depending on whatever you're training for. But make sure you've got a plan, because that's the most important thing.
Rick's definitely got that. He's very diligent with his
very,
plan.
very diligent.
But yes,
on the
like
plan.
you, Sarah.
A-star student.
Like you, Sarah, I'm very, very much looking forward to the latter stages of the plan.
I kind of want to come on all your like 20 milers with you.
On all of his
What's the
series.
longest that you have to run?
32 kilometers, which is just about 20 miles.
Hang on, 20 miles, yeah.
Yeah. you know what I'm thinking of doing
can
though?
I
Seriously,
come?
I'm thinking about, well, can you? Do you want to? Yeah? Do you really want to?
Can I just
I
want
would
to
like,
do you know what I mean?
I'd like to watch a live stream of it.
Yeah, can I watch a live stream
Yeah, I
of
don't
it?
want to have to
You
like
have to
do
get
it
someone
with
else to
him.
carry the GoPro. But, I am
still-
thinking about changing my watch from kilometres to miles. Loads of people actually have asked me recently why, when we live in Britain, do we always talk in kilometres? Just because we always bang on about, oh yeah, park run time, running at pace A, pace B, 5:30, whatever. Why don't we just do it in miles? I'm going to be running in miles. Why don't we switch?
If you change your watch into miles, you're going to start like a mile revolution, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, Rick Kelsey, the man who brought us miles."
I don't think I've got that form of power.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to have little disciples being like, "We will train for a marathon for 14 weeks.
Well, let's just see
we
how-
will work in miles.
Let's see how we go. What's that going to be?
Long
That's gonna be
live Rick Kelsey,
That's going to be March.
the
isn't it?
marathon man,
The marathon.
Well, like, I can answer
our saviour and hero."
I can answer the why I talk in kilometres is because I used to do everything in miles, and then after retiring, I didn't want to compare myself to that, and so then I switched entirely to kilometres because it made things like completely detached from my former life.
They go by quicker. The numbers are lower. There's more of them.
The numbers look faster.
The numbers look faster.
In Valencia,
You get more little splits on Strava.
But on
in Valencia, you didn't get mile markers either. So
well, do you
Yeah.
in
Opens
London
up
do you get
opportunities to run abroad.
kilometre markers?
that's a good question.
You
I
get
assume
both.
London has both, but
Okay. Well, I'm going to think about that. One thing I'm not going to think about is whether or not I'm going to eat spicy foods on the night before a race, because this is one of the most Googled questions by runners.
what should I eat before a
What
race?
food should I avoid?
What food should I avoid?
Before a race? I mean, spicy foods, you could say that's rather obvious, but also high fibre foods.
yeah, because it's going to affect your digestive transit, and so it's like it. I remember talking to someone about carb loading and so on before a marathon. Like, if you did try to carb load by taking the normal types of carbs that you sort of should have in your day-to-day diet, which are like whole grain a lot of the time, then the amount of fibre you'd be taking in that extra carb loading phase would be so much that it would be uncomfortable, and it'd be likely to cause you kind of digestive trouble. And so it's getting the right kind of balance of those things. So yeah, high fibre things can really like, I guess, change or influence how your stomach's going to feel.
I have been going really high fibre though after my not so long runs.
I thought you were going to say I have been going really regularly.
With kind of brown bread, beans, that type of fibre
Oh, do
intake.
you know what I had for dinner when I got back last night? Beans and cheese on toast.
Oh, I do think that's the elite kind of like go-to comfort food.
Kids' dinner.
Oh, good.
Kids' dinner.
Hey, here we
Also,
go.
Tom's away for 2 weeks, so that's my
do you
dinner
want-
every
Can
night.
I just ask, beans and cheese on toast, you're making cheese on toast where you're melting it in the grill and then putting beans on the top?
Oh, no, I didn't do
That's
that.
how I would do it.
No, so I
So you're
did
going just grated cheese on the top of beans.
toast, layer of butter,
Yeah.
pour the beans on,
Yeah.
quickly grate the cheese melts into the beans.
Oh, interesting. No, I'd try it the other way.
All right, I'll try that.
Yeah.
I got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, you
40.
get 2 weeks of cooking for yourself.
Also, Meg in the office was recommending Marmite on the toast, then the beans
cheese.
on top.
Oh,
Oh, maybe Marmite,
then cheese,
on
melt the
toast,
cheese onto the
then
grill.
beans.
Yeah.
The point is with this though,
Endless options.
yeah. Rick does not want to talk about beans on toast anymore. This is elite
Hula
nutrition.
hoops on
the
toast.
point
actually,
is
quite
though,
good
is
stuff.
to eat foods that you know are easy on your stomach because you've practiced them with them.
Yeah.
Did you mean spaghetti hoops?
Spaghetti
Not
hoops.
hula hoops. Yeah.
I think those spaghetti hoops are rough.
Oh my God, do you
honestly,
not
that-
like spaghetti
It's
hoops?
just it's one of the worst forms of processed food.
Oh,
Absolutely
do
rough.
you know what I think is the pinnacle of British food? Spaghetti plus sausage. in a
spaghetti
can.
hoops with the frankfurter in the
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Other
Wow.
people in other,
I
people in
could
other
live
countries
on
must
that
look at that and go,
for the rest of my life.
you tried this once and wanted to buy it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah.
I might have that.
Is it,
I'm just going to live in the tin.
Can you send us every day in the WhatsApp chat? Can you and maybe
What
in the
my
Running Channel
dinner
Club as
is.
well?
Spaghetti hoops.
Yeah, Sarah's dinner
Yeah.
whilst Tom's away. Day one.
day one? Yeah. How's
there
you
might
going?
be a vegetable on day 5
and
if
yeah.
I don't work out how to cook
if you
it.
are, we're mentioning it, but please go and check out the Running Channel Instagram and various other channels to keep an eye on what Tom is doing, because it is bonkers. He is doing the world's highest marathon. So the first video that he put out yesterday or today was all of the kit that he's got to take with him, which is ludicrous.
Has he got to carry all that himself? Or has he got a man?
Some of it.
He's going to have to carry a lot of it.
Yeah.
Right, but he has got a man
He's got a van.
and a van. Right. I mean, I'd like to go to Chile, but I wouldn't like to do that.
What do you mean?
It's got amazing
I
wine.
think
Well, I
you'd
knew you were
love-
going to say it was the wine. You're looking at sort of Chilean
Probably
red.
loads of sommeliers. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
loads of sommeliers over there.
You don't
Is
need
it
one. It's all
acceptable
good.
to pee while running a marathon?
No, really hard.
I'm
Really
not sure.
hard.
I'm not sure.
So
It's
acceptable.
Well, no,
Yeah, it's
this is a
acceptable,
Google
but you
question. It's not a specific question.
Oh, do you think this is stopping, or do you
that
think
means-
during?
I don't think. I think you're probably
Just
right.
like, is it acceptable to stop and pee? Absolutely. There's a reason they put portaloos on the side of the course. If you want to stop and wee, absolutely go for it. However,
Yeah.
we must mention official, unofficial marathon time,
Yeah.
because there's been some confusion out there. So I'd like to set the record straight.
Oh, yeah, if you stop for a wee, your watch is still rolling.
Don't pause your watch to go for a wee.
That's a
Strava
good
will
point.
calculate your moving time for you, so you'll probably already get that calculation even if you leave your watch running.
that's
true.
However, your time for that marathon,
Is
if
still-
you stop and wee, is from when you cross the start line to when you cross
Yeah,
the
it's still
finish
chip
line,
time. Yeah.
inclusive of wheeze. So you know my PB in London, 3:44,
Yeah.
weed in the middle of it.
Oh,
Humble
How long
brag.
did that take?
Well, I didn't lock the door and someone opened it. So apart from that minor
Boy or girl?
inconvenience, boy, absolutely horrific. But it was so
Was
embarrassing.
he like, oh, this is Sarah from the right channel.
Then I was like, well, do you know what? Any time I'm in an embarrassing situation now, I literally
Yeah.
just repeat over and over and over in my head, I'll never see them again. I will never see them again. I will
I'd have
never
loved
see them
it
again.
if he was just, he opened the door and had the presence of mind to go, oh, it's Miss Snarky No Pants.
Imagine if they opened the door and went, it's Gabby time. Yeah,
I think that'd be
horrific.
creepier
Gabby time.
because they would have that would have had the kind of almost
They
like
would
the slightly
have seen me
stalkery.
going.
Yeah, they knew whose door they
Passed
were
you a
opening.
glass.
Yeah,
Oh, I could have done with a glass at that point.
This is a really useful one, and I'm not surprised it is one of the most searched questions. How many gels should I take during a marathon?
Ooh, great question.
45.
Loads.
That's not the answer.
So
I was joking.
the biggest thing that I feel like I currently do with gels is I have learned when I feel like I need my next gel. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm practicing loads during training. There's lots of different science out there, from how much you should have per hour to high carb methods to, did you see that ridiculous study that came out the other week saying that no one needs carbs?
That can't be true though, right?
It was Sian Seckham, who we've had on the podcast before,
Yeah.
go check out her Instagram page because she has torn this article down. But essentially it was like an opinion piece on, no, I don't think you need carbs to be able to run.
What I think, I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there and loads of vocal advocates for high fat, low carb, for example, and keto and all of that sort of stuff. And you can do it and you can learn to run fasted and stuff like that. But to my understanding, it is unequivocally better performance wise, purely for performance.
Yes.
Like a super shoe.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah, like
carb.
if you fuel properly with carbs, glycogen stores, all of that stuff, that make you faster from a pure performance perspective, which is slightly different to trying to complete a marathon, say. But yeah, the answer to this is to try it out. There's loads of stuff that the previously would have been saying 30 to 60 grams of carbs per hour. Obviously, it's massively different based on potentially your body weight, but also your metabolism and the pace at which you're running.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do it in the next few months. We're going to do what's called a carb oxidation test, hopefully for a bunch of us. We're going to team up with Science in Sport, and we're going to work out, because I don't think it's going to entirely be predicated on like body shape and pace and so on. I think it's going to be based on lots of different factors, and we'll find out how much carbs each of us actually needs per hour. So I took an educated guess, and I took about 80 grams of carbs per hour during my marathon for the 3 hours. So that was 6 40-gram
I need to
gels.
start upping it because it's just in training, it's so much to carry. And it's so much.
Well,
if you're,
to help people out then, when you're in training, what is in a normal gel? How many? And the standard one?
They're anything from 20 to 40 grams. I think the standard one's about 25 or 30 grams. The ones
Okay.
I was taking were called the Beta Fuel gel, that they were 40 grams. Yeah.
So on that basis, roughly every 5 to 10 kilometers, you can be going to be taking between probably 6 and 8 gels for a marathon. But
Yeah.
faster runners, you probably take them every 5 to 7 kilometers.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
it's
taking
40
taking
grams.
2 gels an hour, so roughly once every
Yeah.
25 minutes.
So you might
yeah, I need to
be carrying
start
you might be
upping it.
carrying 8 40-gram
which
gels
is
with
a
you.
lot. And that's
That is a
why,
lot.
actually, I do think if you're running a big race where they do offer nutrition on course and they are offering gels, it's kind of smart in training to start
with what they're offering.
With those gels, and then you can pick gels up on the course, and you don't have to carry because you're carrying.
I mean,
I can't do the maths.
Well, I was I
It's
carried
lots of grams.
Yeah, I probably was carrying like with the, I suppose, I don't actually know how much each one. They had 40 grams of carbs in. I don't know what they weighed about. So say they weighed 50 grams.
That much though, is it?
Then I was carrying 300 grams of stuff to start with.
Which isn't, but imagine if I handed you like a 300 gram bag of sugar and was like, off you go.
Yeah.
You're at the other side.
Strapping
You don't
around
even want
your
to
waist
carry a
definitely
GoPro.
means-
There's no
a GoPro
option.
probably weighs.
But otherwise you just run
500
out of
grams.
energy and you just stop,
No,
which is
but
what
then you
happened to
could
me the
take-
first time I ran a marathon.
Then you could take the gels on course.
What blew my mind was, because obviously taking the gels on course, if you've never taken them before, will be a risk. But the guy, Adam, who paced me in Valencia, like just completely, he was brilliant. Yeah, I met him at whatever it was, between 5 and 10K. And he's like, oh, do you want me to help you out? I was like, yeah, great. And he'd only been planning to go to 20 or 25K.
Love it.
And for lots of different reasons. And so he was just like, we got the 15K in, then we're sort of approaching 20K, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm really feeling like my pan au chocolat wasn't enough. And he hadn't got gels on him because he was only planning on going to 25K.
Oh no.
And that's what he was planning to do.
Yeah, so then at 20K, he's like, right, I'm here for you, Andy. And then he just grabs a gel off the course and just had one of those. And he's like, and then he just started taking the gels on the course because he didn't have anything else with him. And he's an absolute superstar because he ran
that's
the
a
whole way with me.
laissez-faire attitude to marathon running.
Yes, it is. That's not, but like he was
Yeah.
very experienced, much faster marathon runner, and I'm grateful I had him on my team on the inadvertently sort of for that race.
Very cool. Should we do one more?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think I'm glad people are Googling this, that it's one of the most Googled things, because we mention them all the time, but it's easy not to know what is interval training, hill sprints and tempo runs.
How can we do this justice quickly? Interval training, you're breaking faster paces down into shorter periods. So they could be anything from 20 seconds up to 10, 15 minutes intervals. And each of those would have a different purpose. But you're going to be talking about the different paces you might run at. So anything from mile pace, 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon pace, or other specific paces like threshold paces. And that's when you're running at a sustained effort just below your lactate threshold. So if you were to run any quicker, then all of a sudden you would tip over into working too much anaerobically, and you wouldn't be able to sustain that for long enough for it to be the right kind of training that you're doing. And then hill sprints, you're thinking about running up a hill pretty quickly. It's pretty obvious what it says. Working on running form, really driving your arms and getting your knees up. And then it sort of logically, it use slightly different muscle groups, gives you a lot of kind of bang for your buck in terms of the time that you spend training, because it's going to make running on the flat feel easier.
I think with all of them, interval training, hill sprints, tempo runs, it's the type of running that you can do in order to get a bit fitter, get a bit faster.
Yeah.
If you're someone right now, when I started out running, all of my runs were kind of go out, run either easy or run hard. But actually, if you want to level up your running and start throwing in interval sessions, hill sprints, tempo runs, they're what are going to make you faster. They're going to get you fitter. They're going to make you feel good on race day.
Nice.
Tempo runs, effort out of 10.
6 to 7. Tempo and threshold being slightly different. Maybe you could say tempo is 6
Rick's like, well, my marathon training's 3 to 4,
threshold 7.
so
Yeah,
won't
piece
be
of
doing
cake.
any tempo runs in this.
And I'm going to say these questions weren't quite what I was expecting. I remember I'm sure Anna and I, in the very early incarnation of the running channel, did a video, and it was like we answered the Google's most asked questions, or like, Google autocomplete.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we did like running is, runners are, is running, etc. And I'm sure one of them was, are runners better in bed?
Ooh.
That's what I
let's
turned up
quickly
today for this
finish
podcast.
with that.
Finish with
Thinking
that
we're doing
then.
a very different topic.
Are they?
Andy,
Well,
speak,
I'm gonna say
speak directly
yes.
to Ali.
Pitch yourself. Rick, are runners better in bed?
Sorry, I nearly did it then. I was
think
nearly
they've
going straight down the lens.
They've got strong stamina, so yes.
Oh, okay, better question.
Yeah.
Let me know if this is safe to leave in. Kids, look away. Would you rather sleep with a 100-meter sprinter or an ultra marathon runner?
This has gone down a route I wasn't expecting. Questions,
Yeah.
Matt from
Yeah.
California.
I was going to say, Ali, write in. Let us know which of those you are.
Yeah. Question time.
You know you're going to answer.
No. I was wondering if you could help me understand what vertical ratio, vertical oscillation, and ground contact time are. If the faster I run, the better these stats get. Is there anything more to them than telling me to run faster? I'm already trying to do that.
Right, Rick, I know you love vertical oscillation. Can you remind us what that is, please?
It's what makes runners better in bed.
That's actually a good hint.
Thanks.
You don't want, it's very similar to running actually, you don't want too much vertical oscillation, do you?
Vertical oscillation is basically about keeping your frame straight and being pulled up on a string.
Very
really.
far away. So vertical oscillation.
It's how much you're moving. Your top of your body's moving
up and down.
up and down.
It's how much your whole body moves up and down.
Yeah.
But you're trying to keep the top half
Unless
of
you're
your
a
body
slinky.
as still as possible.
Yeah, you are, but that's not what vertical oscillation measures.
So this is purely just how much you're going.
It's your
up.
bounce.
So if you took a point on your body, like
Right.
whether you took the top of your head or like you measured the point at the middle of your rib cage, or I don't know, because it's broadly the same thing, right? It's how much you're physically translating up and down whilst you're running.
Oh, do you want to know a great fact that I learned at the weekend?
Yes.
Related to this. Sorry, more women specific running stuff. So I went to PB to get a sports bra.
Yeah.
Incredible company. And I was learning all about boobs and how your boobs move.
Figure of 8?
They move in a figure of 8. Do you know how much there's a broad average of like how much your boobs move up and down?
I do not know
Vertically oscillating.
Yeah.
It was it must have been centimeters, 19 centimeters that
That's
they can move
significant.
up and down. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So like just shy of a 30-meter ruler.
But is
30
vertical?
centimetres.
30 centimeters.
Hang on. So
God,
let
I
me get
can't
my
do
head
that.
around all of this.
Sorry, yeah.
Is it bad the more you move is worse?
Yeah. So you want to be a hovercraft like Andy rather than Tigger bouncing up and down because it's
Okay.
less efficient because you're wasting energy moving
Yeah.
up and down rather than moving forwards.
So there were 3 things here. One, the vertical oscillation, that's literally a measure in centimeters of how much on each stride you go up and down.
Okay.
So if you were to take a measure of the center line of your body, or picking that point, like I said,
How much you're going up and down.
on each step, what's the difference between the top and the bottom point of that
Try
point?
and keep that as tight as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think you should be actively thinking about it. That's
Yeah.
the tricky thing. But measuring it might be useful. I think
Vertical ratio.
it's how much you move up and down divided by how much you move forward during that same period. And so the lower the better, i.e. you've got a larger stride length for a lower vertical oscillation. So vertical ratio being lower would be more efficient to a point, I'm sure, because you don't want to be overstriding and risking injuries and all that sort of stuff.
Yes. And ground contact time.
Physically, how long your foot is on the floor for on each step.
Slower the runner, the longer the ground contact time.
Yeah, for everybody, the slower you run, the longer your ground contact time will be.
Yeah.
But regardless of the pace that you're running at, you want the ground contact time to be as low as possible.
Which really plays into super shoes. So if you are a slower runner, not necessarily the thing for you.
Well, and the leg stiffness we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So leg, foot, ankle stiffness is going to give you that more reactive, like bounce off the ground.
And that's why we always talk about how the kind of best practice is you want to land kind of in your midfoot as opposed to like heel striking or like massively being a forefoot runner. But everyone will have their own.
Yeah, everyone will be different. And I was reading a study recently that said a lot of elite marathoners do still heel strike. So it can't be all bad. But yes, it's sort of optimizing within your small window. You don't want to make massive changes.
Do you
Yeah.
heel strike?
Yes, a lot of the time.
Okay. Do you, Sarah?
I think I'm quite a midfoot
Yeah,
runner.
I think you are.
What about
Greg,
you? Huh?
I don't know. I'm normal. I had my.
You're just normal. I mean, a lot of people
normal.
would disagree. A lot of people we met at the weekend would definitely disagree.
I don't know. I think I'm just normal.
When I had my gait done, just normal.
Okay.
Greg
You know
from
what
London.
that applies to me? That when Rick had his gate done, definitely wasn't listening to the answers.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it you said again? Normal. Yeah, good.
Normal. That's all you needed to know. Is that normal? Yes. Greg from London. I'm currently in my London Marathon training block and have an upcoming holiday scheduled next month. The training app I'm using has already accounted for this and adjusted my plan accordingly. But I had a more general question on it. If you have a week where you're short on time, would you recommend prioritizing speed or a tempo session to maintain fitness, or prioritizing the long run to keep up time on feet and endurance?
Well, if you're training for a marathon,
Yeah.
I would say long run. And I'll tell you for why. Can you
Yeah.
tell I've been watching Gavin and Stacey?
I can, but I agree with you here.
So-
This is a single week, yeah.
Jess has actually been researching into this recently, and there was a really interesting study recently related to the 10% rule.
Yes, there was, yeah.
10% rule looks at how much you should increase your mileage week on week,
Yeah.
but actually there was a much more significant correlation in the 10% rule specifically associated to your long run compared to just the overall weekly mileage. So
Yeah, as like the biggest predictor of injury risk.
yeah, so the main thing that you want to make sure is that you prioritize the long run so that then the week after is not kind of much greater than a 10% increase.
Yes.
I think it's related to like the length of runs within the last 30 days.
Yeah, so taking a 30-day baseline as to like what your longest run has been in that period, increasing a single run by significantly beyond 10% compared to that max run you've done in 30 days, that was the single biggest indicator of injury risk, as opposed to necessarily 10% increase of your overall volume.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you kept the volume about the same, but just prioritized speed during a marathon block, then what will happen, like Sarah said, over the next few weeks is you might have to have a jump up in your long run.
Yeah.
And that's the riskiest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a good rule. Well, that's it. The most Googled questions by runners.
And the most normal presenter.
Such a good rule, that. Such a good rule.
Such a good rule. It's an excellent summary. That's Rick's. Stop talking, guys. I wanted to finish the podcast. Don't do any more.
Welcome to Rick 3 of Rick Kelsey training for a marathon.
What's your VO2 max again?
Oh, wow.
I hate you. I'm going to the lab. See you next week.
Bye, guys.